And that comes from a creator point of view as well. Like sometimes I just slip little Easter eggs into the app just because I want to, and it keeps it interesting for me to keep developing it. I'll give you a couple of examples. So
Yeah, please do.
it's really dumb. It does nothing, but I just put it in because I was laughing at it. So in the top left corner, there's a little llama.
Yeah, I see the llama.
Yeah, and if you have your sounds on your phone, like if you tap it, like it does nothing, but it basically just puts sunglasses on it and it makes like a funny noise.
It does, and it made a noise.
Like a little kind of poke noise. It's so stupid.
Oh, it's like a poke, like a boing. I don't think it's going to focus, but yeah, it's very cute. Marie Ung is the founder of Llama Life, a tool designed to help fellow ADHDers work through daily tasks and routines. She started Llama Life as a small personal project after teaching herself how to code by watching YouTube videos during the 2020 COVID lockdowns. Who's out there with me? Marie was learning a lot in theory, but wanted to put it into practice, so decided to try and build a tool to help with her own ADHD and time management struggles. After putting an early version of Llama Life on Twitter/X, several people asked where they could get the app. So she decided to officially release it. Marie now works on Llama Life full-time and is on a mission to help other ADHDers work through their tasks lists, not just make task lists. Without further ado, Marie, welcome to Attention Different. We're so happy and thrilled to have you here. And Llama Life is awesome. We cannot wait to keep using it. Welcome. We're here to talk. We're here to chat.
Thank you. That was an amazing intro. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So I'm here with Aaron, my co-host.
Hey. Hey.
And my name is Steven. This is Steven Tonti and Aaron Smith of Attention Different. And we've got Marie here today. And we're here to talk about all sorts of things, including ADHD adulting, Llama Life, tasks and to-do lists, getting a late-stage diagnosis, all of that in a bag of potato chips. There's no chips, but there is Marie and Llama Life. Before we dive right in to like our updates and what's going on in our lives, I just wanted to let Marie know that I hit start on my next task, which is to record a podcast interview with Marie.
Great. Amazing. You're doing better than me.
Oof, you heard it here.
Is that your Llama Life app?
Yes, I downloaded it today and,
Nice.
Great.
set up my profile. And my first 3 tasks were wash face, set up podcast studio, record interview.
That's it. I love that you've got wash face in there too, because
I had to make pretty, you know.
Yeah, but also like wash face is a very short task. And I think a lot of, other apps have like 25 minutes is like the timer. And one of the things with Llama Life is I wanted to have like really short timers for these tiny tasks. Like, yeah, wash face, drink water, like go to the bathroom. Like I just want short timers. And that's amazing because I think a lot of people don't share that kind of thing, that they have to do these tiny micro tasks. But they're still important.
Can we put a pin in micro tasks? Because I think Aaron and I both spit on that. I wanted to start with, because it's important. It's actually, it goes right in keeping with Llama Life and to-do lists, etc. I and my partner are moving in, still in the trenches of moving in. And as I got onto this session with Marie, we both admitted that beyond this frame, this tight, perfect frame, there are boxes and tool things, and maybe and Marie, who's moving out, I hear.
Yeah, I'm moving out. It's chaos.
It's chaos. What's the scene beyond the camera?
Oh my God. So yeah, it looks kind of neat here in the small tight frame, as you said, but like just off to the side of my laptop, I've literally got like cutlery. I have like one bowl, one plate, one knife, one fork, one spoon, one cup, and I've packed everything else in my kitchen except that, just to kind of tie me over for the next like day. Yeah, which kind of represents a lot of ADHD life, right? Like to a lot of other people, you look like, oh, okay, maybe at work I'm masking and I look like I'm kind of in control. But, you step outside that and you kind of relax when you get home and the whole thing's just like, oh, it's chaos.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's us in the frame and us outside
in the frame. Exactly. Oh my God, I love that too.
Oh no, we just all came up with like a chapter in our future books. That's a whole visual chapter that within the frame and outside the frame.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
But as in true ADHD fashion too, you are showing up. You're here, and we so much appreciate that you battled through COVID. You're in the middle of moving.
Yeah.
In the stressful time, but you showed up and you came through.
Thank you for reminding me, Aaron, about the COVID. How are you feeling?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling much better. Thanks. Yeah. Second time I've had it, so it wasn't as bad as the first, but it's still kind of weird. Like I kind of just, I don't know, I suspected it was because I just felt a little different. More different than I normally am. But I just felt a little off.
It wasn't the good different. It was the other kind of different.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
sick different.
Yeah.
Not the attention different.
No, the layering it on thick.
Nice.
Yeah, as the therapist would
See
say,
what
like
you
the
did.
screenwriter of your life, right, was really like testing you, right? Hey, you're moving. Also, here's some COVID.
That's it. And the funny thing is, I was just saying to like friends and family that that's the story of my life. Like when things hit, it's all or nothing. It's like everything happens at once or nothing happens. So of course, when I'm trying to move house and work on the business, I get COVID.
Well, yeah, on that note, you're in that mode right now, and we are about to embark on an interview with you where Llama Life will come up. But before that, what other sort of points of attack or tools do you use during something like a move, a huge transition?
Oh, I mean, I go back to pen and paper. I got both. I mean, I definitely have obviously Llama Life, and I also use like a separate like to-do list thing that. So Llama Life's more like in the moment, like in the day. It's very much like a day tool to get you through what you need doing like today. But I have a to-do list thing where, I can put things many weeks in advance and I can do like, reminders and subtasks and stuff like that. So I use that. But then sometimes like I kind of need pen and paper as well, just to have it literally like in my face. And I really like crossing it off, like physically feels good. So
don't we all? It's so funny. Yeah, we still
the
need
old school pen and paper.
Yeah, there's something about it. So yeah, when it comes to the crunch, like sometimes I go back to that. And then I just body double with a lot of people. Like my girlfriend's coming later and she's gonna like stand there while I do stuff.
I think you can relate, Stephen, hardcore.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm going to tee you up for this one.
Your laugh is somehow like so charming and devastating because like I read it as the sort of the like momentary embarrassment, but it's joy filled.
Yes.
Like this embarrassment of like, why do I have to call my friend Asia to come over and cook? And she's not cooking, I'm cooking. She's just standing there. But I need to stand there so I can do this.
I know, you nailed it. It is that funny like chuckle or laugh where it's like, oh, it's so embarrassing, but then at the same time it's like, yeah, it's funny and I know you guys get it, so I'm happy to say it.
Yeah, do you find that you invite more non-ADHDers or ADHDers to body double? On that note, like, is it more comfortable to ask a fellow ADHD friend to come body double or a non-ADHD?
Oh yeah, it's definitely easier to ask a fellow ADHDer because I'm totally fine helping and doing stuff for my friends. I just can't do it for myself. I think the challenge I have is like a lot of my ADHD friends are online. So I met a lot of people through social media and just through like, X, Instagram, conferences, that kind of thing. So, the folks helping me with the move are not neurotypical, but they are really good friends or my girlfriend and they get me. So I don't feel bad asking them.
No, that was the laugh. The laugh was filled with like, this is so dumb, but we do it and they get it and it fills you with joy anyway.
Yeah.
Because you get to hang out with your friend. Ultimately, you get to hang out with your bestie.
Yeah. And it makes it more fun as well. Like you can chat about stuff while you're doing things and like packing and all that.
Oh yeah, purging is great when you have your bestie in the room.
And it makes the time go more quickly.
Hey, Stephen here. Sorry to interrupt. We just wanted to take a brief moment to tell you about this week's sponsor. At Attention Different, our mission is simple. Offer ADHD adults proven practical strategies for living a more balanced, fulfilled ADHD life. And that is why we are thrilled to offer our latest course, Thriving with Adult ADHD. While other courses might focus on the pain and struggle of being an adult with ADHD, and we do not want to minimize that, this course is designed around accessible, relevant, and applicable techniques that address the most common challenges facing ADHD adults. Inside Thriving with Adult ADHD, you will learn how to better understand your adult ADHD and gain clarity about how your brain works. Improve focus by using tools to cut through distractions and get things done. Create time management systems that are realistic and effective. Get organized by building routines and habits to bring structure to your days. Learn to manage your energy for productivity without burnout. Regulate your emotions by developing strategies to manage your emotional ups and downs. You'll learn to find balance by optimizing medication, self-care, and professional support. Thriving with Adult ADHD features 2 hours of on-demand video, 10 downloadable resources, lifetime access to the material, and a satisfaction guarantee. Go to attentiondifferent.com/thriving to sign up now. That's attentiondifferent.com/thriving to sign up now. Hey, thanks for the quick break. Now back to the interview. So we read some interviews. We've done our homework. I got the app and I'm excited to use it because, as Aaron knows, we I would say any sort of tech aware or modern, ADHD adults, we've tried the apps, we dance around.
Yeah, same. I've tried all the apps.
App switching mode.
App switching, right? We can actually start here. Mini question. Mm-hmm. What were some of the apps that you used that gave you that pro-con muse thing? I like this, but I really don't like that. Why doesn't it do that? I wish this app could do that. What are those apps that kind of inspired Llama Life?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are so many apps out there that do sort of timers. And there's a concept called Pomodoro.
Right.
That sort of tomato timer kind of thing where you set 25-minute countdown timers, and then you're supposed to work on one task or focus during that time, and then you take a 5-minute break. So there's almost too many apps to name that do that kind of thing. But what kind of inspired me was that I really need short timers because there's no way I can do 25 minutes. That feels way too long for me. So I really wanted something where you could quickly type in a task and then quickly set a timer, which could be 1 minute or 2 minutes. And for me, that's so much easier to actually focus for that short time. And I also have tasks that are literally a couple of minutes. Right. So if I want to, I don't know, just wake up and drink water or, wash my face in the morning or brush my teeth, they're all really short tasks and I'm not going to spend 25 minutes on them. Or maybe, actually, I take that back. If I set a 25-minute timer, maybe I might just procrastinate and spend 25 minutes on something I shouldn't take that long to do.
If I may, what I think I just heard was that you, instead of doing 25 minutes of a morning routine, you're I want to break that down into its molecules.
Yeah. Just do short tasks and kind of win and accomplish something and feel like I accomplished something with something short versus failing at something that's longer. But in the end, you're kind of doing the same things.
No, I hear that. I hear that there is literally more opportunity to fail at the one thing. Because if you've combined 8 tasks that fit into one block,
yeah.
You're going to jam up for some reason, the dog pooped on the floor, something out of your control.
There's also this law that's it's called Parkinson's law, which is it's something that whatever task you've got, whatever time you set for it, the work will just kind of expand to fill that. So if you say, I have this one thing to do and it's going to take 25 minutes, but in reality it shouldn't, you'll probably still just, fill that time. Or if you've got an assignment to do and it's due in 3 weeks, you'll probably take 3 weeks to do it. But if you go, actually, I'm going to time box it and just spend 1 week on it, then you'll probably get it done in 1 week. It's just a mental thing that you go, I have this much time. And especially for ADHDers, you go, oh, I have heaps of time. I'll just procrastinate. And then at the last minute, because I know there's a deadline, I'll get it done. But you didn't actually need that, 3 weeks to do that. That's really what Llama Life is kind of playing on in a way. But on a micro scale, it's saying, hey, you've got 3 minutes to brush your teeth. Do it. And there's a little bit of pressure because it's a countdown timer. You're I've got to do it. I can see the clock ticking down. And that, for some reason, just works for me. And that's kind of why I made it.
Yeah. And it kind of gamifies it and probably provides a bit of a structure around it too. Because like you said, there's these easy wins that you can get. Okay, I did this task. I did that task. Right.
Yeah.
I'm making progress. I'm building momentum, which is very important for ADHD motivation. But then it also is it's creating a structure. Because
yes,
what you're saying with this Parkinson's law is without the structure and the absence of structure, then what happens is we fill it with idle time and procrastination and distractions and whatever those base impulses are, we're just often doing those things, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing Llama Life will do is it kind of tells you the total time that you've set. So if I've got 5 tasks and they're, a few minutes each, it'll actually say, hey, the total time for this list that you created is, 40 minutes or whatever. And that really helps me because sometimes I try and do too many things and I think I can do them all, but actually, I suddenly filled my whole day and I really just don't have time to do that. And what happens then is I feel disappointed in myself that I couldn't accomplish something. But in reality, it was completely unrealistic in the first place. So Llama Life will kind of add up all the things on your list and go, hey, this is how long it's going to take. And it'll also go, hey, if you start it right now, you're going to finish at like 10 o'clock at night. So you really should like reassess what you're trying to do. So that really helps me kind of figure out where I am in the day and like how much time I've actually like put against what I need to do.
I want to unpack this further because I relate to it hardcore.
Okay.
Maybe bring us to the moment, the sensorial moment when you divined, okay, an element of this app has to be tracking the total time for the day because I have too many times run into this shame spiral, which like I can really relate to this, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
tell me about what time of day would it hit you? What was the sensation? When were you just fed up with that?
What time of day does it normally hit me? The
Yeah, was
shame
it like
spiral?
yeah. Did it come at a time of day? Did it come when you came home? Did it come when you went out on a dog walk? Like what?
So, I mean, it always starts off the same way. Like the start of the day, I'm always over enthusiastic and I think I can do like a lot of stuff. And everything starts off great. I make my list. And with before, when I didn't have Llama Life, I just make the list. But then by the time I got to the afternoon, it'd be like, actually, I've really only done a couple of things on here. And what I ended up doing is like all the tasks that I didn't do, I just keep moving it to the next day.
Yep.
And this is the same pattern every single day. It's like make a big list, can't get through it. All right, I'm just going to like move it to tomorrow, move it to tomorrow. And I was like, what's the point? I just keep moving everything to tomorrow. And I'm not actually getting through the list. So, and this is kind of how Llama Life got born, right? Because there's so many apps that help you make a list, but there aren't many apps that help you work through a list. And the whole point is like work through it. Like don't just make the list and postpone it and postpone it and postpone it. Actually like spend the time and work through each item. And that's the whole premise of Llama Life. It's like get through a list. Don't just make a list, get through it.
How does it help inspire people to get through their list?
Yeah, so the countdown timers are a big part of it. It's really easy to create the timers and you can do very short ones as well. So you kind of feel like you get momentum if you get a few small wins when you start off. I always encourage people not to like do the biggest task first and like start with the small ones so you feel like you won.
I totally agree.
Yeah, right. Like I think this is
Yeah.
such an ADHD thing because
Yeah.
there's this concept out there that people go like, eat the frog,
I'm
which
just
is
waiting for you to say it. Yep. Yeah.
I cannot eat the frog. So eat the frog
Neither.
just
No.
means like look at your list, pick the biggest item, like the hardest thing and get it done first. I'm like, there is no way that I can do that. I'd rather pick something easy and small and feel like I accomplished it. Then do another easy and small and kind of work my way up and get momentum. So
Momentum.
momentum.
Honestly, Marie, if I could give a word, if I could say this is the one word on the sticky note in your office above Llama Life, it's momentum. It's the momentum app, right? So like ADHDers can make lists. We can train ourselves to be organized. We can build the habit of like remembering to do something as we put it in a calendar. We set up a reminder. So many of our devices are helping us automatically now, right?
Yeah.
The parent companies are baking it in. I think the genius, the brilliance behind yours is the momentum, the motivator, right? I having just used it once today, for the first time today, I can tell you that I did have a funny experience on the third task, which was record the interview. It's automatically set to start the next thing when you finish a task, when you say complete. And I paused it, and you're hearing it now from the ADHD or highly sensitive people, right? I wasn't offended by that. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I'm pausing this because it's not ready yet. We got like 13 more minutes before the interview, but I felt the nudge. I felt that energy still going forward, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thanks. That's really good to hear because, a lot of people said to me at the beginning, like, why do we even need this app? Like, why can't I just use a countdown timer, like a kitchen timer? I think my response to that is like, you can. There's nothing wrong with using like what's available to you. But what I try and do with Llama Life is I try and make it really fun. Because if you use a kitchen timer every time, like it could get kind of boring. Llama Life lets you put like colors on each task, emoji. When you complete something, you get like sound effects and confetti. And the whole thing is designed to make it like not threatening and just kind of lighthearted and fun. And to your point, like Stephen, just to give you some momentum because you feel good when you actually complete something. So I guess there's like this whole experience that's created around it to keep you going and keep you feeling good about working through stuff. So I think at the end of the day, though, it's whatever works for you. So if you are good with a kitchen timer, like use it. There's nothing wrong with that. If you need a little bit more kind of encouragement and, dopamine around what you're doing, then Llama Life might be something to look at.
Amen.
That's cool.
But whatever works, because, when we started talking about, when we started this interview, we're talking about different apps, and the fact that we've tried like all the different apps, I think everybody goes through. I think I've downloaded hundreds. There's nothing wrong with switching between apps either. Like you kind of pick the one that's working for you on the day. That could be Llama Life, but it could be something else. And it's good to kind of alternate sometimes so things don't get stale. I do that all the time. Like we're just saying today, I'm using pen and paper today because it kind of is working for me right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pack up and move house, and I kind of am feeling like I need to physically cross something off. So that's what I'm using today.
I want to say this is a proud reviewer moment.
Okay.
You just sold your freaking app 3 times over. The way, like, such a powerful flexy move as the creator to say, hey, I created this to be like intimately relatable to people like me with brain wiring like me. And I'm so assured of my audience, of my demo, that I can say to you, oh, I know you because you me. I know you're going to switch between 5 different apps, but make one of them Llama Life. I love that courage and and that vulnerability. That is how it is. I don't have 50 apps for one thing. But I do chisel it down to 2 or 3 apps that that provide slightly different experiences, and they kind of meet the situation. To your point, like I do stuff for travel and vacation versus stuff for being on set or doing a job that requires X, Y, and Z kind of focus.
Yeah, I think the key is sometimes as an ADHDer, you wake up and you can wake up 2 different days and can be completely different. So I think one key is just being very kind of in tune with yourself and self-aware. Like, okay, today I'm just feeling like this, and maybe I started with one app and it's not working for me today, but don't be afraid to go, okay, I'm going to stop that and I'm going to switch. Like it's, for me, like the biggest thing is like just self-awareness. Like it's not working, do something different. That's okay to do something different or take a break. But the worst thing you can do is to keep trying to push through when something's not working or you're having a bad day, because it's not going to get any better. You're just going to feel worse about yourself because it's going to get, it's just, you're not going to be in the right mindset to do what you're trying to do.
Yeah, the shame, the guilt, other things compound.
They really do.
As you try to like continue to push through, it'll get worse and worse instead of, I think, the opposite, right? The energy we need in those moments is compassion. And I think what you're talking about is that this app actually is built from the ground up to kind of give people that. So the hard thing is, all right, we have to have to-do lists. We have to have things that we prioritize. That's just adulting. That's life, right? But can we still have fun? Can we have fun with it? Can we be lighthearted? Can we play this app like it's a game? Can I gamify life a little bit? Oh, I brushed my teeth. Woohoo. Yeah, we need that sometimes.
Yeah, and that comes from a creator point of view as well. Like sometimes I just slip little Easter eggs into the app just because I want to, and it keeps it interesting for me to keep developing it. I'll give you a couple of examples. So,
please do. Yeah, please do.
It's really dumb. It does nothing, but I just put it in because I was laughing at it. So in the top left corner, there's a little llama.
Yeah, I see the llama.
Yeah, and if you have your sounds on your phone, like if you tap it, like it does nothing, but it basically just puts sunglasses on it and it makes like a funny noise.
It does, and it made a noise. It went
like a little kind of poke noise. It's so stupid.
Oh, it's like a poke, like a boing. Boing.
Yeah. But I'm
that's
like,
cute.
You know what?
Glasses. You got a little pair of
it's
glasses.
pretty funny,
I
and
don't think it's gonna focus, but yeah, it's very cute.
It's not in there anymore. But there used to be a button like right at the bottom of the list called the button was labeled nothing, and all it did was like when you pressed it, it made some sound effect, and then it started cycling through like a bunch of words like hello, what are you doing? Stop looking at me. Focus. Like every time you pressed it, it would just change what it was saying. It was completely pointless, but people were clicking on it. And like I said, I just kind of put it in because I was laughing when I did it.
I think that's so charming. And I wanted to dig in because we read this one on Medium for building in public, which is something kind of like a weird, like when colloquial phrases sort of kind of pass by you. I've heard it, but I didn't get it until reading this and understanding intimately what it means for a content creator who's simultaneously building a company, an app, something, etc. This sounds like that. So you had this group of followers who love this app, and is this kind of the group that you're speaking about when you're thinking about these funny things that you're putting Easter eggs in for?
Yeah, kind of. And it's really for anyone to just discover it and kind of brighten someone's day. But yeah, you're right. Like so building in public is just kind of this. I think it started like maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago or something like that. But the concept is like when you're building a new product, you share it very openly, or building a company, you just share it very openly, and people kind of follow along and they like seeing the journey, and maybe they can learn some stuff as well from the mistakes that you make. And for the creator, it's I personally find it quite motivating because it's very public kind of accountability that you get. You might say at the start of the week, hey, I'm working on this feature, hoping to launch it by the end of the week. And you kind of give progress updates as you go, maybe some screenshots, maybe some demos, and people can see that you're making progress. And it also kind of serves as a bit of marketing for the app, because every time you're posting stuff on social media, people will go, oh, what's that? And this is exactly how Llama Life started growing, because Llama Life was never meant to be a product. Like it was just meant to be for myself.
You were building this as your to-do list to help yourself.
Yeah. I was actually just building it as something to practice like coding on as well. So what happened was like, this is back in like 2020, like when COVID was like peak, and Melbourne, which is where I'm based in Australia, we had a really severe lockdown. We had one of the harshest lockdowns in the world. And it was like months and months and months where we couldn't go out. And you know how everyone's learning a new skill like sourdough or like DIY gardening and stuff. Like I'm not much of a cook and I'm not good in the garden. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to teach myself how to code and like do software development, because it's something I always wanted to do, but I just never did it. And I just went hardcore on it. Like for some reason, something really clicked, and I was really enjoying like learning how to code, because when you program something, you get an instant result. And I think that really works with my brain. It's like instant gratification. Like, oh, I wrote this line of code and then I ran the program and it did something. I was like, oh, it did something. And that really, I just really love that. So I was learning like a lot of theory, and I was watching like a lot of YouTube videos on how to code.
And you're self-taught?
Yeah, I'm self-taught. Yeah, I started with JavaScript and using React now, and also React Native for the apps. So Llama Life's available on Android, iOS, and on like the web. So it's 3 platforms now. Yeah, all self-taught just through YouTube, because I'm a very visual and audio kind of learner. I actually started trying to teach myself by reading a book. And I was like, no, this is not working. So then I started watching videos and it just clicked. So yeah, yay for YouTube.
I remember a time where I was teaching myself like website design, and I went out and I got all of the books available. And this was like a little bit prior to the time where there's like a lot of great YouTube resources. I mean, YouTube was there, but it wasn't the way it is today. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get all these books. And I got these thick books to teach myself like PHP and stuff. And I'm going through it and I'm just going to sleep, because I mean, it's just, it was impossible for me to learn that way.
Yeah.
I could not do it.
No, I wouldn't be able to either. No, I wouldn't be able to either. Not in the pure textbook form. It's too dense. So dense.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess with YouTube, like they do like a lot of practice ones where they're like, let's build this today, and you can kind of follow along. The point I got to was like I was doing a lot of theory and I was doing a lot of practice on the YouTube stuff, but I was like, I want to do my own thing. Like I really should try and do my own thing to see how well I actually understand this. And that was basically the first version of Llama Life was a very, very minimalist version of what it is now. And from the building in public standpoint, I put it on Twitter. Well, X, but it was Twitter back then. And straight away, somebody commented like, oh my God, what is this? Where can I get it? Like, I want this. And I was like, oh, really? I was like,
stranger, or was it somebody from
one of your followers, one of your people in your network?
Or was it somebody out of the blue?
Someone just random. Like, I don't know this
That's
person.
wild. Yeah.
And it's still out there. So if you go on my Twitter, like you have to scroll like way, way back to like the very start. Like there is a post which says, "Hey guys, check out what I built. I built this thing." And underneath it, there's a comment and someone goes like, "Oh my God, what is it? I want it." And that kind of made me go, "Oh, well, maybe I'll just keep building this, and even if nothing happened, like I'm getting practice and I'm learning stuff." And I think that helped me stick with it because there was no pressure. It wasn't like I started off going, "I got to build this business." It was more like, I'm doing this for myself to learn and I'm making a tool that I want anyway. So I might as well just put it out there. And as I kept sharing it, more people were like, where can I get it? Where can I get it? And I was like, okay, well, I'll make it public. I'll make it so you can go and get it. And then it kind of just grew from there. And then people started emailing me going, "Can you add this feature? Can you add that feature?" Yeah, it's very, very collaborative. Like people write in all the time and they're very, very like supportive and friendly. They know like it's a very small business. Like they know it's, so it started off just me. And then at one point I had a couple of other people I was working with, but now it's just me again. So people know that it's small and they have access to the person building it. So they're like, "Can you please put this in?" I won't put every single thing in, but if I get, 20 people asking for it, then yeah, I'll put it in.
These can be like short answer, quick questions. Is there a feature, a facet of this app that has been there from the very beginning?
Yeah. Timers. Yeah, the timers.
The timer and the way that it's built, that it daisy chains when you finish a task?
No, that was added later. So what Steven's talking about is like when you complete a task, it automatically starts the next one. And you can kind of get the momentum from that. So that wasn't there at the beginning, but people were asking for it. So that got put in later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That answers my other question, which was if you could list, what's another aspect of the app that a lot of people ask for?
Oh, okay. So one other thing was just like the total time for the list. So, at the beginning you could just kind of add the timers and then people were saying like, "I just need to know like how long the whole list is. And then the end time of the list, like the actual time of day that it would finish." What else was there that was added?
I love how much of this was crowdsourced. Like, you weren't just building it just for yourself. You were having a chorus of people who also. It feels like being in the like a whiteboard session. Like the brains had the brain trust.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that. And there's also just definitely like stuff where I go, "I want it, so I'm going to put it in." But the funny thing is that it just so happens that like a lot of other people with ADHD just want the same thing. So when you're building for a very specific purpose, and I love this is like with a lot of products when you can really like niche it down.
Totally.
So you can have a to-do list app, but it's a to-do list app for ADHD. When you really like focus it in on a particular audience, it can just get so much better because you know exactly what you're building for. And I see this with a lot of companies where they start off and then they try and build for everybody and the product just gets like really diluted. And then it's like, I don't understand what this product is. Like it does so many things, but not well. And I'd rather do fewer things, but do them really well and for a very specific audience. And that just gives me a lot of satisfaction. Like less things, do it really well, keep it simple as well. Because the last thing you want from an ADHD perspective is like you open it and you're like, "I'm overwhelmed. There's too many things." You need to be able to like start straight away, like in the first few minutes, like create a task, do it, feel good.
I'm feeling it right now. It's so easy to flick my eyes down and keep doing this interview because the font of the clock and the size of the timer is really easy to read and at distance, and because of the stacked tasks and the way that the ones that are completed have faded out. I mean, I can see the choices over time that this app has matured into, and it's cool. At the end of this, because I want Aaron to ask some questions about some of your adult ADHD diagnosis and push the buck for it a bit. At the end of this, I think I have another demographic that's really going to love this app that isn't necessarily ADHD, but we'll talk about it. It's assistant directors in film. But this daisy chain time thing is really clever.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Can I go back to a little bit of what you were saying about the building in public and how the genesis story of the app itself? I think it's interesting because we juxtapose this with you're moving right now. And you're using the body doubling stuff with having your girlfriend come over and be there as you're packing, as you're sorting things. Was it part of that feeling too, that like, hey, I'm kind of doing this with others too? Like I'm getting this feedback loop of I create something, now put it out, someone's reacting, responding to it? Is it some of that? And also, is there anything around like feeling helpful, feeling like there's this purpose there that I'm doing this for
Yeah.
others, right?
Oh my
Like
God, yeah.
you said at the beginning, I can't do it for myself, but I can do it for others. And I'm wondering if that
Smart.
is also part of
Yeah.
Oh my
this.
gosh. Yeah, that's a really good observation. Yes. So everything I do, like it has to have a purpose because, I kind of, well, I guess take a few steps back before I started doing Llama Life. I worked in corporate for many, many years, like, I don't know, a decade and a half or something. And that was in branding and advertising. And I liked that experience. Like I learned a lot during those years, which some of it I probably carried over into Llama Life in building my own business. But at some point, like I think I lost purpose. And in terms of getting up every day and doing things that are hard, like you need purpose. Because if you don't have that purpose, you kind of lose motivation, especially with your own business. And I can see you guys nodding because,
Oh
obviously
yeah.
you guys run your own business too. Like there's two things that kill a business. It's motivation and money. Like obviously, if you don't have money and the business isn't growing, like it's not gonna work. But then aside from money, it's motivation. And the way I get motivation is through purpose. Like if I lose the purpose, and in this case, purpose to me is like being able to help other people with ADHD. It's very, very important to me. I think it's a market that's just completely underserved and also just like misunderstood. So if there's something that I can put out, even if it's like in my own small way through this app, like that makes me feel really good and I feel good about contributing and, what I'm doing every day. So yeah, purpose is super important. The body doubling stuff that you said about building in public, yeah, that really helps me because even though I don't know all the people that are commenting online, I do feel a sense of, I made that commitment. And even though they're not body doubling, like as in they're standing next to me, they're kind of out there and they're seeing updates. And so it's kind of like they're with me in a way, even though they're not en masse. Whereas, body doubling is usually like one person. So it's kind of like an en masse body
Yeah.
doubling in a way.
Yeah. It's a community of excited. I don't want to put like emotions in their mouth, but I can imagine impatience sometimes comes out. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
imagine
yeah, yeah.
you deal with people who are like, when is it coming? Actually, I think this might help us like way back to the ADHD. How did you deal
Mm.
with that? How did you deal with the public aspect about it being people being critical as well?
Good segue. I was just about to say that because yeah, there is a flip side to that coin because you are dealing with a lot of people and yeah, there are going to be some people who are impatient or sometimes not so nice, I guess, on customer support requests. And there's a lot of RSD that comes with that. And I totally have the RSD thing and it really bothers me sometimes.
And just for our
Um,
audience, like rejection sensitivity dysphoria.
yeah, yeah. It's just being overly sensitive sometimes to criticism. And sometimes it is warranted, but a lot of the time it's kind of blown out of proportion. And it's something that I can't help, even though I've tried. And I think I've got a little bit better at it, but it still happens. So, yeah, it's something I need to kind of watch for myself and just make sure I try and regulate myself in some way and take a break or chat to a friend. Usually, what I do is I'll chat to a friend and they'll go, yeah, it's okay. Like, it's not as bad as you think it is. And that kind of helps. But they also don't dismiss it. They will acknowledge it and go, yeah, I know you're feeling this way. That's okay. But just know that it's not too bad. I think that really helps me. Like, if they just go, oh, you're overreacting,
Right.
I think I would get really angry. But the fact that they acknowledge it and say, I know you're feeling like that, but just it's okay. That helps me a lot. So I usually will take a screenshot maybe of something and I'll send it to someone and they'll go, oh, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just give it a break. And, or they'll say, just write back and see what they say. And sometimes when I write back and the other person knows that, like, I'm a person too, and I'm just one person trying to run this, suddenly their tone will just completely change. So when they're just messaging support into like our support chat chatbot or whatever on the site. Sometimes it's really rude, and then I'll write back, and then they completely are like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry," or whatever. And
you're a real person with feelings.
You're a real
yeah, I'm a real person.
It's not your fault, Marie. It's not your fault. It's all these.
Yeah. So it's probably, you know what? It's probably just human nature. Sometimes when you're dealing with support and you just don't know who's on the other end, you might just be like, I don't have time. I'm just going to message my problem. But then when someone actually replies, you kind of go, oh, okay, it's a real person. I'm guilty of that too, I will say.
Totally.
Yeah, I think, I've been on the receiving end, but I've also been on the giving end a bit too. Like sometimes I don't know who I'm talking with and I'm just like, please help me with this thing. But then, yeah.
Totally. Tech
Human
support.
nature.
Yeah, it's human nature, but for us, it's like a force multiplier on the emotional dysregulation and
Yeah.
like
what are some of the things that you have noticed as an adult, as a business owner, that are those kind of triggers that still come up for you? Those things that are like when someone does this, whether it's a customer or a business associate, but it's like, example being like feeling dismissed or ignored or something like that. Is there something that really gets under your skin that you still notice?
Yeah, there is. It's to do with support. It's to do with the business model. So, kind of mentioned earlier that the two things that kill a business are motivation and money. So, for a business to survive, it does need to bring in money. I think the thing that really irks me is so Llama Life's a subscription, so you pay a monthly fee or an annual fee. And the app stores basically encourage you to take a credit card up front. So you can do a free trial, but you need to put a credit card in. And then if you don't cancel it, the subscription will just start.
The opposite of ADHD friendly.
I know.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. So this is how Llama Life works at the moment. And this is how I'd say 90% of
every
paid
other
apps
app,
work as well. I know as an ADHDer, like managing subscriptions is really hard. And I've tried to do things like remind people to cancel it. So I think 3 days before, like it'll say, if you don't want the trial, like cancel it. So I think I do like 3 reminders or something like that. But people still forget. And
Totally.
then sometimes they kind of blame me and they say, it's not ethical or something to do it like that. I'm like, I really am just I'm trying really hard to help you, but it's not my fault, So that
so when
kind
they're
of
attacking you and you're
yeah.
again, it gets at that purpose. I'm trying to help this community.
Yeah.
And now they're attacking the very essence of what that means.
Yeah, and I think this is an ADHD thing. It's like a strong sense of justice. And I really feel like I'm trying to do the right thing. But then if someone accuses me of not doing the right thing, I'm like, I am trying so hard. You're just accusing me of the thing that I'm trying so hard to do. And that really gets me so bad.
Me too.
Totally. Yeah, no, me three. I think I sometimes wrap it up, maybe incorrectly, but to like a gratitude thing. Like it strikes a chord in me that goes like, hey, could someone, which is weird in the news right now, could someone just say thank you? But there at that point of like, I feel it. I feel the ADHD or monster in me in a moment going, I'm trying so hard though. Can't you see the hard that I'm trying? I'm trying so hard. That's worth something.
Yeah.
You almost turned into Kermit there.
I did. I heard it too. You're so good. You're like, I did. I heard it too. I was slipping into, I'm trying so hard. Yeah. Yeah. We have content coming out soon, Marie. You'll yeah.
If you want to watch the Kermit videos, go to our Instagram.
Yeah.
Check those out.
Yeah, very
stand up with
releasing
Kermit voice.
Pieces of my queer cabaret performance from Pride this month, which was Kermit the Frog made an appearance. It's been a long time since we were on stage together, but it was a good interview.
Oh wow, that's pretty good. I'm definitely going to check that out.
I did accidentally slip into there, but this is definitely tough, and it sounds like it's tough for all three of us. I'm trying so hard, and you're still mad at me thing.
Yep.
Which with RSD makes it worse. And then like the purpose thing probably starts to get fuzzy and foggy. Like, why am I doing this again? Everybody's still mad at me.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can get, 99 really positive emails, and then you get one bad one. And that one bad one has so much weight and so much gravity, and it just kind of throws the 99 out the window. It's really disproportionate, but I don't know. I guess the only thing I can think of or to suggest with that is just the self-awareness thing as well. Like try and put it in perspective. Like acknowledge you're feeling that way, but then try and put it in perspective, or call someone else who can put it in perspective for you is what I do.
Call a friend, phone a friend.
Call a friend. Yeah, phone a friend.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's part of that, like, I think verbal processing thing too, right? If you don't speak on it, if you hold it in, suppress it, then it makes it worse. But if you can call someone, you can talk it out and say, hey, I'm feeling this way. This is what's going on. I don't know where this is coming from. Am I reacting? Am I overreacting? Right? You can just talk it through. And sometimes you just need that third party. And we have those friends. Some of the friends that, right, will just tell you exactly what you want to hear. But then you also have those friends, I think, are your deeper friends, right? Who will tell you when you sometimes are overreacting. They're like, actually, I don't know. You might be overreacting a little bit here, right? And then you're like, I needed to hear that.
The other thing that's been really beneficial to me is having ADHD friends.
Exactly.
And I only started meeting a lot of ADHD friends in the past couple of years, like through Llama Life. So through being on social media. And it's been the best thing ever because, I love my neurotypical friends, but there's something about having ADHD friends that you just feel very understood straight away and you don't have to explain stuff. And that helps a lot because I think there's so many, like in day-to-day life, there's so many instances where you can be misunderstood. And if you go through life constantly being misunderstood, like that's just really not a good feeling. But sometimes when I hang out with ADHD friends, like at conferences and stuff, which is where I met you guys, I met you at a conference.
The Neurodivergence.
Neurodiversion conference, which was great. Check it out online. It's really good. I just kind of felt like understood straight away. It was just so nice.
We felt that way too. I mean, that was one of the amazing things about being at that conference and also conferences like JAD or, the International ADHD Conference. It's a place where you feel a part of something. You're part of this community. And, just being surrounded by other neurodiverse folks and ADHDers, it's a whole different experience because you're like, we don't have to give the subtext and, we can let down the mask a little bit. We can be ourselves.
Yeah, and speaking about letting down masks and stuff, I mean, when I met you guys, that was like a really low point for me as well. I don't know if you remember. I think I was like in the middle of having a sensory like breakdown.
Yeah. I remember the Austin Beer Gardens.
Yeah. So I knew this was going to happen. So, all right. So, okay. So I basically have like a lot of sensory issues as well, like noise, lights, and can get a bit overwhelmed and emotionally dysregulated from that. I think it's a little better now, but when I met you guys, it was really bad for some reason. I think I just was under a lot of pressure. So after the conference, so we had a full day of conference. After that, we all went out for like a few drinks and stuff and food and music at night. And the place that we went to was very noisy, very crowded, and there were a lot of lights. There was a lot of neon. I don't know if you remember.
There was a live band.
Live band.
There was a stage with speakers.
Stage with speakers. And when you went into the venue, there were all these neon lights. Like you kind of walked through and I don't know, so it's something about...
Right, the neon light gates. There were like gates. A bunch of like neon light gates.
Yeah. You just walked through all of that. So there was a lot of overstimulation. And I guess I felt seen in some ways because like I walked in, I actually had noise cancelling headphones that I was wearing as well. And I've never done that before. I've never walked into a bar or a pub or anything like that with noise cancelling headphones. But I kind of felt like, you know what? I'm with people that would totally understand. So I just did it, but it still got too much. So then at one point I just was totally having a quiet meltdown. I wasn't shouting or anything. I was kind of crying actually. I was surrounded by like 20 ADHDers or 20 or 30 ADHDers. And 5 of them just said, and that's where I met you guys, 5 of them just said to me, okay, we're going to take you home. And they went and got their car and they took me back to my Airbnb. And they stayed with me as well. And I was just like, oh my God, I feel the lowest point of the conference for me, which has nothing to do with the conference, but the lowest point of my trip became like my highest point. Like it became the highlight. The low light became the highlight because I felt really seen and I didn't have to explain a thing. I just was like, I'm overwhelmed. And they're like, you're right, got it. We'll go get the car. We'll take you back. And I was like, oh my God, this is so nice.
That is an amazing story. Wow.
Yeah, that's what we do. We do
Yeah.
amazing shit for each other. Like, yeah, the there's a whole lot of Austin life going on there, a lot of neurotypical life. Because everybody's got their thing in there, but there's a lot of neurotypical, and I agree with you. That image is still. It's a shame that image isn't more widely accepted, right? That someone could walk into a bar or a club. We do it for our kids, for our little infants
Yeah.
when they're at
Yeah.
jazz. So they get to wear the headphones. Why don't adults get to be like, hey, I'm protecting my ears? There's a lot. And so, yeah, to be around 20 of your peers who willingly accept you into that space that way, and then willingly.
And they understood you without you even having to ask for it or say anything or explain yourself. And
Yeah, it was literally, I just was like, I walked in, I had tears streaming down my face, and someone was like, "What's wrong?" And I literally just said, "I'm overwhelmed. It's too loud." And they're like, "Right, yep." And then I don't know, 30 seconds later, I was being walked to a car. So it happened so quick, and that's literally all the explanation I gave. I was like, "I'm overwhelmed, overstimulated," and they're like, "Yep," and they sprung into action. It was amazing, really amazing.
yeah, it happened very fast. I kind of remember that.
Yeah, there was an info chain that took off immediately because again, heightened empathy, right? There's 20ish of us who are all suddenly the antelope in the Serengeti,
Yeah.
like what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on with our fellow antelope, right? And then
Yeah. It's like
message
ADHD is
travels.
in a crisis, right? Like someone was like, "I'll get the car," and I think Steven, you were like, "I'll get your bag." You went and got. I think I said, "Oh, I left my bag somewhere." And you're like, "Which one is it?" And you ran and you got my bag, and yeah, like I think everybody, yeah, it was total
Pitched
crisis mode, and everyone was calm and like, "Yep, I'm doing this, this, and this," and yeah,
Well, that's a testament to our ADHD too, that we are good in a crisis and we notice
are.
when empathy is needed in a moment, when compassion is needed. That's when we can step up a lot of times. We're great. A lot of us. I'm not saying everyone, but I say, that's a trait that's a prevailing trait with many ADHDers. When we notice, hey, this is happening, there's a crisis, there's something going on, all of a sudden our hyper awareness, our sensitivities, those things come online, and we start doing amazing things. I'm so happy to hear that you were felt just supported and loved by the community and the folks there in Austin.
Yeah.
So
That was your first time?
Yeah. That was my first ADHD conference.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I was going to say, just to be romantic, and we met and started this company, or at least the ideas of this company, at my first ADHD conference. So which was in New Orleans, where I live now, but in 2015, and the feelings are identical. Like I had the same sensation. People coming up to me like Aaron, like Jessica McCabe, early days, Ari Tuckman, Roberto Lavardia. So we could go through the whole list. But everybody coming up and immediately welcoming you into, it felt like fill in the blank Disney movie. You're just like, oh wow, all me for as my
It's
brother.
like coming home. It's like feeling like you're home.
It was so great for me because there were a lot of people that I knew from social media, and we'd met online, and we'd had, DMs and started podcasts together online, but we'd actually never met in person. So at that conference, I got to physically meet so many people that I'd just spoken to, over video chats. And it's great. Like there's nothing like meeting in person. Nothing. You can be good friends online. That's great. But when you actually meet someone, it just takes it to the next level. It was so nice. And being in Australia, I kind of feel quite far sometimes from everybody else. So it was like a real treat for me to go over and, chat to people and give them a hug and that kind of thing, and just, be there together.
I think Aaron, we just got invited to Melbourne.
Yeah,
I think
I would love to come to Australia, but no. But I'm thinking so tell us, what is the state of ADHD community treatment, mental health stuff in Australia where you live?
Well, I would say up until recently, so it was similar to the States where you need to get diagnosed through a psychiatrist in order to be properly recognized and get medication. But it's starting to change. So it's starting to change that you could go to a GP, like your general practitioner, and get diagnosed and medication that way. It hasn't fully come into practice yet, but it's been talked about in the news that there are changes coming. I think it'll still take quite a while. So just for context, this is July 2025. I think it's still going to take, several months, maybe longer, 6 months to a year even, for this to actually become reality. But it's starting to change because, it is really hard to go to a psychiatrist. It's very expensive as well to do that. That prevents a lot of people from getting diagnosed and getting help that they need. So that's starting to change, which is great. And it's starting to get more recognized as well. There's a lot of talk in the media about it too, and being more recognized at schools and more help available.
What's the general sentiment? Like, would you say like people accept it and think it's legitimate, or would you say there's a lot of general sentiment of, I don't know if it's a real thing or it's made up? What are the attitudes?
Well, I think it's starting to change, which is good, but there's definitely people who just go like, oh, isn't that just, it's the same thing as in the States. It's like, oh, isn't it just like young boys, hyperactive, that kind of thing. Women tend to get missed a lot because it obviously presents differently in women. There's a lot more sort of inattentiveness, daydreaming kind of thing with women. So especially if you're a woman who did well at school, a lot of people say, well, you're doing fine. Your grades are good. You're doing well at work. How could there be anything wrong? But it's kind of like what we were saying before. There's in the frame and there's out of the frame.
Right.
You don't necessarily know what it took to get in the frame and show up for work every day and be presentable and get the job done. You don't know how much effort that might take. At some point, like it might crack, which is kind of what happened with me, right?
Right. I was going to say, what was that like for you? Because you were one of those women who got diagnosed later in life.
Yeah. So I actually got diagnosed in the States. So I grew up in Melbourne, Australia, but I lived and I worked in New York City for like maybe 9 years. And, I've kind of had challenges through my whole life, like school, I did well at school, which I think is why I got missed. And I was more like inattentive and restless. Like there's definitely still a hyperactivity component. Like I'm combined type, but my hyperactivity doesn't manifest as like running around and like physically disrupting. It's more internal restlessness and needing to be entertained or like seeking out like things that are entertaining, which is why I went to the States in the first place. It was kind of on a whim. I kind of was like, oh, I'm going to move countries, make the stakes really high.
Yeah, the ultimate dopamine pumping. I'm going to move to a new country.
Yeah.
Everything is dopamine.
That's exactly what happened. Like it was literally like, let's up the stakes. Let's make the consequences of failing like really high. And let's go somewhere like nobody and see if you can succeed. So in New York, I was I was working in corporate, kind of climbing the corporate ladder, and the climb was exciting, right? The climb was a thing that kind of kept me interested and motivated, and it was still very, very difficult. I'd get back from work, go home after work, and I'd be super tired because the whole day I was masking and trying to fit into this very tight corporate structure. And I got told a lot of the time, by my boss, I'd get a good performance review, but they would say stuff like, you're doing really great, but you're getting out of your seat way too much. It was an open plan office. So my boss was sitting opposite me.
Oh, the worst.
Yeah, the worst. And I'd be distracted and I'd be hearing other people's conversations and I'd be getting up, making coffee, and I'd get up and I'd go talk to someone else. And in a way, it was a good thing because I got to meet a lot of people and I knew a lot of stuff that was going on in the office, and that helps sometimes to get work done. You're collaborating with other people, you're talking to different departments, and you suddenly have all these contacts. And that kind of worked well for my job in a way, because I knew people, but it was also very disruptive because I'm in my boss's eye line and she's like, you're getting up all the time. You need to sit in your chair. And it's kind of funny for someone to get told that in corporate. It sounds like a line that you get told at school, sit down.
Yes.
But to be told as a,
reminiscent of my third grade teacher.
Amen. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's where we're at right now.
I think to be told as an adult, being 30 years old and getting told hey, sit down. It's what?
Yeah.
What was that moment where you're like, I need to get something else is here. I need this ADHD diagnosis.
Well, I kind of climbed the corporate ladder, and then I got to a certain point and I was like, I don't really want to climb anymore. I think I'm good. And, I just wasn't finding the work, going back to purpose as well. The work and the purpose was not there for me anymore. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't interesting. It started getting repetitive. and I just wanted something new. Like I wanted to do my own thing. And this is way before Llama Life. So I had other businesses before Llama Life.
Right.
Probably like Llama Life's probably like my fourth or fifth business, depending on what you count as a business. Like some of them didn't go anywhere. They were kind of just ideas that I was like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'll do that. And I had, several ideas on the go. But yeah, this is way before Llama Life. And I kind of just wanted to do my own thing and see if I could build something. Like at that time, it was still making an app, but I wasn't the developer. I was more like, I'm going to pay someone to make something for me and I'll do the design aspect and the business aspect. Yeah. So I've had experience building apps before Llama Life. I just wasn't the software developer for those apps. I was more like just managing stuff. But yeah, I lost the purpose in corporate, which made me want to leave.
When did you seek out the diagnosis itself? What was that point?
That was very shortly before I left corporate. I was struggling very badly. I was just like behind on a lot of stuff, administrative tasks like doing timesheets, expenses, and I've always been behind on that stuff.
The fun stuff.
Aaron, your face. That was such a good read. Oh, the fun stuff?
Yeah. Super fun. And it kind of got to the point where it's like your expenses are so late. Like, I don't know if we can even pay them.
That's hilarious. Your expenses are so late. We have lost the opportunity to reimburse you, my love.
It's kind of like, well, that was in the last financial year. And, we've already it's like, oh.
I've been there. No, I get it. We've been there.
Yeah. And I'm literally at some point, I'm like, you know what? Oh, don't worry about it.
Don't
worry.
Right.
And I'm the one that obviously like loses out on that, but I'm like, oh, you know what? I can't deal with it. Just forget it. Don't worry. I'm not even going to submit it.
This is for our listeners, and just it shows up in many forms. This is happening to me with a landlord. The place that we moved out of. Mm-hmm. He told me when we were supposed to do the walkthrough, when I was standing there at the place, totally clean, that his father passed away. That was when he decided to text me that his father passed away. And I was like, hey, Andrew, like waiting for the walkthrough. My dad died. Oh my God. So now I'm like trying to handle that and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, Andrew. Like let's give it time, whatever. I go home. I text him constantly there a month later, like once a week, a month later. And finally I have to ask his business partner, hey, Andrew won't get back to me. Is he gone? Like 3 months later. And I get a text from her. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's so weird. Let me check. Next text from her, she goes, he said that you're supposed to lawyer up. I was like, what has happened? I was like, no, that's not what happened. Other person, here's screenshots of our communication, meaning lack thereof, because the last thing he had said to me is my father passed away. And I sent him videos of the walkthrough, like, here's the apartment. It's clean. It's better than when I found it. But of course, like that $2,500, I'm confronted with the ADHD adult challenge. Do I pursue it with these people, or that he owes me this deposit? Or does it go on so long that my emotional dysregulation gets in the way, or my lack of motivation, my lack of momentum gets in the way? I'm like, I don't have that in me to fight it.
Yeah. It's the ADHD tax. Like
the ADHD tax.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. The ADHD tax.
We kind of just sometimes have to let things go because they're too much to deal with. And these can be sometimes big things or sometimes small things as well. And it's like, I just can't deal with it. So I'd rather just forget about it. Like make it go away. But that means I take a loss. That means I take a hit for something.
Exactly.
And I guess you just got to weigh up what's more important, because sometimes your mental health is more important. I don't know if it's $2,500 more important, but
or expenses, a year's worth of expenses.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, I'm just going to take this bunch of receipts that were shoved in my top drawer, and I'm just going to put them in the trash can.
Yeah.
And then, it's funny thing is, like, I feel really good after that, but then I'm like, maybe the next day I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how much money was there.
I'm going to ask you something that we ask a lot of people that come onto this show. Do you radically accept your ADHD?
Do I radically accept it? That's a really interesting question. I would say I do now. I didn't so much at the beginning. I was kind of, I don't know, at the beginning, I don't know if you guys went through this roller coaster of emotions, but when I first got diagnosed, I was kind of relieved, but also completely like, what do I do now? Stressed kind of feeling at the same time.
Like overwhelmed with...
Overwhelmed, but relieved at the same time. I was relieved that there was some kind of explanation as to why I am the way I am. Because I'm not lazy. I'm not like all those typical things, right? I'm not lazy. Like, I don't want to procrastinate on stuff. Like, I want to do the thing, but I just can't do the thing. And to have an explanation for that was very relieving, satisfying, like comforting in a way, but it doesn't change the fact that I've got it. And then I was kind of like, well, okay, well, what do I do now? Like, it's good to know, but what do I do? And I suppose like what ended up happening, which I think is positive, is I just started seeking like a lot of self-help, because now I can Google what it is, and now I can like look for solutions because I know what it is. And if you don't know what it is, then it's very hard to find solutions because you're kind of just shooting in the dark.
Yeah.
But as soon as you know, like, hey, it's this, I can go at it. And that's one thing I'm really good at. If I know what I'm doing, like I have a goal and I know what it is, and I know what I'm researching, I can go down my own rabbit hole for ADHD, and which is what I did. And so at the beginning, it was kind of hard to accept. I was like, really, is that it? Is that it? But then it was like, okay, well, makes sense. And over the years, because I got diagnosed 12 years ago now, over that time, like I've really come to accept it more. And I think it really helps surrounding yourself with people who accept it as well. Because if you're constantly up against like a battle of people going, oh, no, that's not it. Everyone's a little ADHD. I can't stand it when people say that. But if you're constantly hearing that, that's going to prevent you from accepting it as well. Because you're constantly getting rejection thrown in your face, and you're constantly being told like, oh, you're just making it up. But if you surround yourself with people who understand it, it's much easier to accept, because you also see it in other people. You see it with your ADHD friends. You go, yep, that's me. We're the same. We're the same.
Yeah.
And then you accept it.
So it's been a journey. It's been a process to come to this place.
It has been. It has been. And I think the more you accept it, the easier it becomes as well, because you're less hard on yourself. And it's not an excuse for not getting things done, but it's an explanation, and you can kind of work with yourself. Like you work with your brain versus against it. But you can only work with your brain if you accept how your brain works. So acceptance is a huge thing. And I think acceptance also helps reduce shame. And we've mentioned the word shame several times in this. Shame is a big thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's disastrous when it hits. And it will hit. It will hit. Like everyone goes through it. And it's such a, I don't know, it's like, for me, it's like the worst feeling. But if I can kind of minimize that in some way through accepting who I am and trying to work with myself and my brain and, you know, how I'm feeling in the moment, like that makes life a lot easier.
Have you found that shame only shows up in one instance, or does it show up with many faces, like many contexts?
I think it can show up in many contexts, and sometimes you might not even be aware of it, you know. If you're just feeling, you might just be feeling bad. And, you know, I think, you know, not everyone has access to this, but if you do have access to like a therapist or just a coach or a counselor or someone you can talk with who understands ADHD, that's important, very important. They have to understand it. If you can access that in some way, there are many online platforms that do it as well. I think it really helps, because what they'll help you do, I was very guilty of this. I was like, oh, I know myself. I can think through it. I can think through it. I'm good at this. I can understand how I'm feeling. It's not the same. Like when you talk to someone else, they can sometimes they might just say something that makes you go, oh yeah, okay, yeah. You're still figuring it out for yourself, but they might just prompt you in a certain way that just suddenly makes you go, oh yeah, it is shame. Like they might be able to pick apart something, and then you realize, oh, that is shame. That is guilt. I thought I was just stressed, but actually, if you peel it back a bit more, there's some shame going on there, which is causing you stress. And so definitely speaking to somebody else who's qualified and who understands ADHD can be a massive help.
Definitely.
Massive.
We agree.
With that. Yeah.
We agree with that. Yeah, we agree.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
Yeah. And I think part of that radical acceptance process, because it is a process, it's not just a one and done or something you come to easily. No, it's a process, but it is how we internalize the shame and the guilt and other things that either are placed on us from others around us, or the society, and then how we internalize that stuff. Because that's the thing we can control a lot of times, is how do we talk to ourselves? How do we support ourselves?
Yep.
And if we can learn how to adjust that inner voice, that self-critic, and not have it go completely around and around in this rumination spiral, and feed the beast of shame, we have a chance to get off that Ferris wheel of shame, doubt, insecurity, fear, anxiety, whatever it is, right? That just brings us deeper into those things. We need that off ramp. That comes from that compassion, that understanding, that gratitude, that self-acceptance, which then leads ultimately to radical acceptance. How we can believe that I am not broken, I'm different, and I'm beautiful the way that I am.
That's why I like the name of the podcast as well, Attention Different, because it's not saying what you just said, like I'm not broken, there's not something wrong with me, it's just different. I think it's a subtle thing, but it's a powerful shift just to go, it's just different. I'm not sure if you guys have heard this. It's like I think it's just a theory, but there's a theory that ADHD brains, like back in caveman time, that was like very, very sought after. Like the ADHDers in caveman time were the ones that went hunting. Because when you're hunting, you need to be extremely focused. There's a very clear goal, and you need to notice everything. And your brain is like heightened for a very specific amount of, like, short amount of time. And that was kind of what was sought after. But
as the hunter-gatherer hypothesis.
Hunter-gatherer thing. And, as time went on and as people evolved and like society was built, and, you go corporate job, go to a desk, sit there for 8 hours in front of a computer. Some of us, like, our brains didn't adjust well to that. But it doesn't mean there's something broken or wrong. It just means that our brains are different. And the purpose of our brains was for a different thing, which is like that extreme focus hunting, kind of noticing every single detail kind of thing.
Yeah, we weren't built to be locked in a cubicle, sitting down at a chair, not moving. That wasn't what our brain wiring was built for.
I was going to say, we could say one thing's broken, and that's the virtual reality we built, the societies that we've built, the structures that we've built are so hyper specific to a type of functioning brain. Like we all have functioning brains, but to a type, an archetype of functioning brain, and it's not ours.
It's not our type.
And moreover, I don't even think it's built for a brain. It's built for
it's built for
system.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's the capitalistic, industrialized.
That's a very good point.
Inhuman construction. It's not. It's inhumane. It's an inhuman construction. You're very right, Aaron.
That's such a good point. It's built for a system. And there are some brains that fit that system better than others. It's just not our brains.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah. And for our listeners, like, that doesn't mean that none of us should work in like these structures, or there's not ways to adapt.
Give up, quit, and never join them. Don't ever join the workforce.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of us are entrepreneurs. A lot of us work for ourselves. And like you, Marie, like, it's like sometimes that fits, and that shoe fits better, and that's okay. Yeah. And at the same time, I think what we can do is hopefully increase the understanding and find ways that the world, the broader world, and our structures and systems that we exist within, whether that's relational structures or business structures, if we can advocate for things and say, hey, this is how I work best, or this is how my brain functions. You don't even have to put the label of ADHD on it, but what you can say is, I'm advocating right now. I'm letting you know, like, you don't have to say those words, right? But have that in your mind, like, that you are asking for and advocating for the things that you need to have changed in those structures so that it's more adaptable and fits and is better. So if that's like, I sometimes I need to get up and go to the water cooler and, blow off some steam so I can continue to do this productivity stuff that you enjoy. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
If I'm staying at the desk, my brain's not going to function as well. So I need to get up and move around. Like, and that's okay. Like, we can, I think more and more, and that was probably, sounds like kind of like pre-COVID times. And, there's been a lot of this upsurge of awareness building And a lot of our friends, the influencers and content creators and people out there sharing their stories, building more awareness, including you coming out here and sharing your story. That's breathing life to this stuff. And I think that's changing. That's changing the way things are, right?
Mm-hmm.
The more people hear, this is the way ADHD brains work. How can we as a company, as a society, help make it even better for those brains to feel a part of things and be more productive within those environments, instead of like shaming us or making us trying to fit this square peg into a round hole.
Yeah, 100%.
Marie, give us, where can we find you? Online, in print form, etc.
So yeah, you can find me on Instagram at 3 Hour Coffee. That's just spelled out 3 Hour Coffee, and Llama Life on Instagram as well, which is llamalife.co. That's where I kind of put all the updates on features that are coming out. Or you can just search for Llama Life in the App Store and Google Play.
Excellent.
You've been waiting to do that, haven't you?
We always are. We're sitting here just like staring at our little button.
Great.